Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the old guy in the club. I am the old guy in the club. I am Justin. That is Robzilla. Actually,
Hi.
This is Timmy right here. I
Hi,
was just
Tim.
pointing at Rob, but that's Tim. He's the young guy in the club. That's the other old guy in the club, Robzilla. And that is the other old guy in the club. He doesn't go to clubs anymore. He's out.
Yep. Gone.
So what's up, guys? How was
Happy New Year.
Of all, Happy New Year. But before we get into that, I just want to thank I hate you. What
You just said Happy New Year. You just said Happy New Year. Before we get into that, I'm like, we're just wishing each other a Happy New Year. Before I let you
respond to my well wishes that I'm sending your way, allow me to interrupt you and move to another position on the show.
All right. Well, no one's even listening to us yet. So
okay.
The playback will know.
Well, so let me do some housekeeping really quick then. Welcome to the old guy in the club. As Justin said, he is the old guy. My name is Robzilla, and as always, our dear friend in New York City, Neil Jackson. You guys, thank you so much for listening here on Twitch.tv, or if you're catching the replay wherever you get your podcasts. Want to just point out that don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe give this, if you're looking for that last minute gift for 2021, gift a subscription to somebody you hate and make them watch this show, which airs every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific here on twitch.tv/White Label Agency. Back to you, Justin.
Can you just talk the rest of the show? It's so much better when you talk.
I actually could.
We've done it.
And while we're doing that, I want to thank all of our friends in the chat room, our modest with the mostest, Jenna, thank you so much. And a very, very special thank you to my sister, Jennifer, a.k.a. Hannah Girl, in the chat room, who filled in for Justin, and I thought did a spectacular job last week. So thank you, Jen, for filling in. We really appreciate you for stepping in. And there's Justin with his 80s movie slow clap. That's actually a real proper clap. That's just how old people do it. And,
that's actually that was actually the Neil Jackson clap right there.
There it is.
That was
copy.
Hannah Girl was the Justin we always wanted Justin to be.
Yeah. So I want to add on to that. Thank you, Jen, for jumping in and doing the show on Christmas night. Full disclosure, I haven't watched the episode yet. And I was not, unfortunately, I was so busy. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I was very busy just, doing the family thing and cooking for everybody that I didn't see a minute live. I totally spaced that it was even happening.
Justin said, well, you guys must have gone super short because I checked in and you guys were done. I'm like, we did an hour 30 minimum.
Yeah.
We were planning on going short, and then the show just took a life of itself. And I think we went like an hour 30, hour 40, somewhere in there. So
just like you forgot about us, we forgot about you, Justin, and we were on a roll.
That's good. I can't wait to watch the video.
It was a good time.
Big shout out to Aaron and Joseph. Get right. I have not Joseph. Happy New Year, Aaron. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. So we're starting to get a little bit of movement in the chat room. So I think, Justin, now is the perfect time for you to lead in with what you were leading into. Let's go.
Well, I was just going to ask you guys kind of what you did for New Year's last night. We were kind of talking about it a little bit before we came on the air here. And it doesn't sound – well, actually, Neil had a very exciting night. But it seems like Zilla and I were just, kind of boring. I will say for everybody that's joined us, I went to bed. I was in bed at probably 10:30, fell asleep by 11:30. And then I was like awakened. What's the word?
Arisen.
Come on, Zilla.
You are Jesus Christ. You are arisen.
He's a...
So at midnight, apparently both my kids were awake and like screaming in the house, like Happy New Year. I didn't realize, I thought Timmy had gone to bed like an hour earlier, 2 hours earlier, but that was not the case. So they were yelling. And then it was like freaking July 4th with all the fireworks here. Now, so it was super loud where I live.
You sure it's just not all the Second Amendment supporters that live in your neighborhood in Arizona?
Screaming out, America!
Clack, 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 clack.
Definitely could have been. Do you...
America, motherfucker! Clack, clack, clack!
We're here first! All right.
I don't ever remember fireworks on New Year's Eve growing up as a kid. Is this a new thing?
Funny you should mention that. So I did a little bit of research into this, and it appears that fireworks have long been a thing, and actually it's noisemakers of all kinds.
Yeah.
Because, like if you look at the big fireworks displays in Dubai, in Sydney, all of those things still happen per the normal, even in an unusual year. But the reason why it happens the way that it does is that it's a tradition in scaring away evil spirits. So I did a whole bunch of things, and my sister kind of got me into this, like researching a whole bunch of the older traditions that happen and superstitions that revolve around New Year's, why we do things the way that we do. And the fireworks are indicative of scaring away evil spirits, shooing away the old year, and making room for the new year. And there's a couple of other things that happen throughout the course of a day that are a little bit similar to that as well. Or throughout the night. But that's why you always have the noisemakers, the party favors, whether it's the horns. Yeah. You know, those are all, the noisemakers aren't just for the whole point of making noise. The point of making noise is to shoo away evil spirits, to kind of kick the old year out and make room for the new year, and to leave room for goodness with that year to come in. Don't ask me why I know, but I know.
Oh, well, I mean, you know a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense that someone would know.
Fountain of useless information.
But yeah, it was pretty annoying because I had an early tea time this morning and I didn't really want to be awake that late. God
forbid people celebrating the end of one of the shittiest years of our lifetimes gets in the way of your trip.
Tea time.
To the golf club. To your private golf club. But please, continue.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's nothing to really...
Sorry, the rest of the world celebrating the end of the shittiest year of their lives interrupted, your long game.
I could see him screaming out the window, I have fucking golf tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, I was not screaming that out my window, but I will admit I was thinking that in my head.
Yeah.
100%.
I was
like, these motherfuckers.
Or as Jenna in our chat room says, New Year, same you.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we know that. And I'm sure you saw my Facebook. Oh, yeah, we talked about this. I put up a Facebook post yesterday just because, I am
Still
a fairly sarcastic person most of the time. And it was, 2021 is going to be my year. New year, new me. Now, normally I would put like a sarcastic face emoji so people would know that I'm not being serious, because obviously I'm not being serious. But I decided not to on purpose. And I just put it up there to see who would fall for it and think I was actually being serious. And some people actually thought I was serious, and some that I was surprised didn't get my sarcasm. But that's the end of that. So, guys, what did you guys do for New Year's? Because I talked about me already.
I'll jump in on this. I tuned in and saw like the early feed of what was quite possibly the most depressing feed from Times Square that I ever saw in my life. It was kind of awkward and weird, and it just didn't look right, and it didn't feel right. And so I watched it for a handful of minutes and just clicked it off, and found John Wick Volume 3 playing like on Showtime. Watched that, and I think I zonked out sometime around 10, 11, and then woke up to a text from my sister, which she texted me like at 11:45, like, "Hey, are you up?" And that was like at 2 a.m. And at that point, New Year's is a wrap. So my septuagenarian parents were up later than I was, and Jen has this huge amount of traditions that goes on. So I'm gonna fill the gaps in on this. So there are specific foods that you're supposed to eat on New Year's Eve and on New Year's Day that are supposed to help with bringing in luck for the new year. For example, you should not eat chicken. You should not eat beef. You should not eat lobster because these. I'm going to tell you why. Because these particular animals either will always move backwards. They like lobsters move backwards. Chickens scratch in the dirt backwards. But pork you're supposed to eat because pigs, for whatever reason, don't move backwards. They're always moving forwards. So this is based on the superstition. At midnight, you're supposed to have a dozen grapes. And it's like one bit of sweetness for each month of the year. You're supposed to have an empty suitcase outside of your front door. And Jen is saying, she's actually in the chat room. She's saying, or the cow stands still. So you don't want to have stillness in your life. You want to have forward momentum. 12 grapes, one for each month of the new year for sweetness and prosperity in the new year. You're supposed to put like some coins in the windows so that when the windows open, financial prosperity comes into your home. So there are some superstitions that are still new to me. But after the year that we've had, honest to God, doesn't hurt. I'll put
Zilla, maybe you should have told us, 13 months ago, and 2020 wouldn't have happened.
Maybe you should.
Because I certainly didn't do any of that shit last year.
Yeah,
guys, I think we're fucked because what I ate last night, I think I literally ate all of that combined into one burger.
And
and then also things that are good, like black-eyed peas. There's a lot of Southern food that is considered good luck for the new year. So black-eyed peas with some ham hocks, or any type of ham for that matter. But there's the pork component again. Collard greens. I'm trying to think of what else. So Lisa S in the chat room had pork, potatoes, and sauerkraut. Cabbage is also supposed to be very, very good luck in the new year. So we kind of had all of those, and I've got 2 double thick pork chops ready to go as soon as this thing is done. So I'm either going to be the luckiest guy in the world, or this is all a giant pile of shit. But in either case, I'm having a good dinner.
There you go. For me, I think I at least am fucked. I made the best burger I've ever had in my life.
Do tell. I love me a good burger.
I had ground beef. I decased spicy Italian sausage, meshed it together, together, made patties, made bacon, and it was awesome. Took brioche buns, grilled it.
How'd you dress them?
Lettuce, tomatoes. I did pepper jack cheese, mayo.
Oh yeah. I'm down with all of this. So this is equal parts pork and beef.
Yes.
But the pork is a sausage. That sounds amazing.
Decased, meshed together in unison.
I approve. I think that sounds amazing.
But knowing now hearing what you're saying sets me back a year. So it looks like 2020 in 2021 for
you had pork and beef together, and actually you had 2 pork components because it had beef. So the 2 pork cancels out the beef.
Oh,
so you're good.
The money in the window, my piggy bank is always at my window. Does that count? Or does it have to be exposed currency?
I think it just has to be on the sill. I think it just needs to be on the sill. But Jen says burger yesterday is good. It's actually today. Today's the day. There's certain things here and there where, you can have good things then and good things now to have good things for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow. Darth Vader in the chat. First off, happy birthday, Darth Vader.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Darth Vader.
He said there's a burger spot in his area that does half beef, half pork. Well, are we talking about spicy pork or are we talking about just pork in general? Because there's a difference. You got to get that kick.
There's a West Coast chain here called Slater's 50/50, and the 50/50 comes from they grind up bacon. I'm not a fan for a multitude of reasons, but the 50/50 is because it's a 50% beef, 50% ground bacon, and it's mixed together.
And it's not good?
Well, it's not good.
Bacon not cooked versus bacon cooked tastes completely different. Spicy pork, I think it's more of the spice and then the texture of the pork added with ground beef are that's the kicker. So anyway, okay, so if you're saying 2 porks and a beef cancel each other out and I have money, my piggy bank in the window.
You're good, Neil Jackson. You're good. And by the way, I want to tell you something. According to my sister, who's an expert in all things superstition, donuts are good luck on New Year's. Specifically, anything that like things that are like round, like donut holes or donuts, anything that looks like coins and money, like lentils, those are all good luck things. But foods that are round, pizza, good.
I had pizza today.
I'm about to. I was thinking about ordering a pizza. A burrito, is that round?
I mean, I guess I
had a burrito today too.
Jesus Christ!
No, it was guys. Come on. It was a breakfast burrito. It was like this big.
The Costco breakfast burrito that you've been telling us about for like 4 shows.
Correct.
Jen says anything that's gold and round, so a donut, a pizza, things like that. Those are all considered good luck for the new year.
Hell yeah, make it. You just actually just gave me an idea for dinner. I'm gonna have pizza and donuts.
Straight up.
Wow.
Straight up. So Jen tells me this stuff yesterday, and we decided to go on a mission. So the mission started off because Jen won a Dunkin' Donuts gift card from her work. Now, there's only 3 Dunkin' Donuts locations in San Diego County, one of which is on the Miramar military base, which, you know, my Arab ass in a minivan is not getting access to. The other one is in the South Bay, like 20 minutes north of the border. And the other one is in a neighborhood community called Hillcrest, which is about 25 minutes from my house. It's basically the halfway point between where I live in University City and downtown San Diego. So we go to this Dunkin', and it's about, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They're pretty much winding down for the day. It's 3 o'clock on New Year's Eve. And of course, we should have planned better. We were basically getting the remnants of whatever they had for the day. But I got to tell you guys, we grabbed a couple of things like right then and there, and Dunkin' ain't awesome. Like I know it is like Dunkin' on the East Coast is like what In-N-Out is to us on the West Coast. It's either, it's people are very passionate about their dunk.
But it's not. It's only that way for the coffee. People don't care about the donuts.
The coffee is worse than the donuts.
No, I understand, but I'm just telling you that's where the devotion comes from. It's for the coffee. It's not for the donuts. Everyone knows the donuts or whatever. But I like the Munchkins. I like the Munchkins. That's all I get at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. See, so Fader's saying it's religion here on the East Coast. ... It's trash. And I'm going to tell you, so Jen and I ordered a couple of caramel lattes, the little caffeine to try and stay up for the night, in my senior citizen like fashion. And Jen threw her coffee out. I mean, she was like, "Hey, you think this homeless guy might want my coffee?" I mean, it was like literally that bad.
That's wrong, Hannah girl. That is wrong. You can't be giving that homeless man some garbage like that.
Yeah. Poor homeless guy deserves better than shitty
he's homeless and he's been through 2020 and you're going to give him that? Jesus.
He probably would have refused it. Like,
he's like, nah, thanks, I'm good.
You couldn't do Starbucks, bro? Like, you couldn't. Fuck. So, yeah, the coffee wasn't really good. And I'm not trying to shit on Starbucks. I mean, it was, the last time I was at a Starbucks, at a Dunkin' was like one of those airport kiosks. It wasn't like this is like my first time at a full service Dunkin'. I don't get it. Like the coffee wasn't awesome. I think maybe my expectations were out of line, but we did get Munchkins for our breakfast this morning. Shared them together. We had our golden round, and that's really what that came down to.
Wait,
so we went to Dunkin', and then
it's a donut.
Munchkins, the donut hole.
Oh, okay.
And then from Dunkin', so we're like, we didn't get exactly the things that we wanted. So because our parents had requests too. So we drove, and Jen, correct, she says, no, we can't poison him on New Year's. So she tossed out her coffee. And then, so we drove up to the Krispy Kreme in Claremont, which is like, 20 minutes from there, which is one of the few Krispy Kremes in our area. Went over there. We were lucky enough to get them right when the hot donuts now light flipped on, which is good, except that they were supposed to be for this morning and they weren't going to carry over. And they didn't have the things that our parents were requesting. So we went to the neighborhood-owned Cambodian donut shop that was back in our neighborhood and checked in with them. They're remodeling for the new year. Can you tell? So this was like a mission. This ended up taking 2 hours. Finally went to another donut shop. And by the time we got to them, the next closest, they had closed for New Year's Eve. We got what we needed, but there was a hell of an adventure. And that was really the most interesting part of my New Year's Eve, was just getting donuts for this morning.
Dude, all this talk about donut, I haven't even had a donut yet. But I have this like huge beef with Dunkin' Donuts. Nothing in that. I don't understand it. But since we're on this topic, you guys need to watch this documentary called Donut King. So
there's a Donut King?
Yeah, the Donut King. It's crazy. Hopefully I don't give out too much of the. So in California, I mean, Zilla, you've been here long enough, and I think Justin may know about this. But those pink boxes,
of course,
the pink boxes kind of indicates that 9 times out of 10, if you're getting donuts in a pink box, it came from a Cambodian donut shop, usually. And this is like earlier. This is like in the 90s. It's all related. All of it is. It's crazy. And you got to watch the Donut King because it touches on where that pink box came from. It touches on like all this stuff. And it came from one person.
I mean, truth be told, if you've been in San Diego, California, and you've walked into a liquor store in San Diego, 9 out of 10 liquor stores are owned by a member of the Chaldean community, which are Iraqi Christians that, a couple of families came over as refugees in the 80s and opened up a liquor store and then sponsored like their brother, their brother-in-law, other relatives, brought them over, taught them the business, helped them out. I mean, it's
very similar to this documentary.
But I mean, let's be real. Ethnocentric migration is a huge part of the American fabric, right? There's a reason why there's a little Italy in every city. There's a reason why there's a Koreatown in most major metropolises, is because people come pursuing the American dream in the States, and they look for people that have already done it before them so that to make the transition just that much easier.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's phenomenal. And
no, I'm scared.
But I mean, that's kind of where it came from too, bro.
Yeah. But, like, you want a job as a thug?
A donut mafia, homie. So I'm gonna check out Donut King because first of all, I love donuts, and the only king of food that I knew of was Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago. Wow. So to know that there's another king out there, you guys like that reference? Honestly, I'm rather proud of myself for that too.
I completely forgot about that until just now.
Abe Froman?
Yeah.
Hey, to get snotty.
Did Abe Froman actually, like, is that a thing from Chicago, or was that just for the movie?
No, it was just for the movie.
Oh, okay, because I was just wondering. I'm like,
are you aware of kind of the DJ crew that started about, it's got to be close to 20 years ago.
The Abe Froman Showman?
The Abe Froman Showman.
Yeah. That was Vice 5.
Stone Rock and Graham, and I think Cobra was involved. Cobra actually texted me today. I haven't talked to him in forever. But there were a bunch of those guys that were involved in that. It's just such a good name.
That's great.
But to touch on Dunkin' Donuts, I will say one thing is great from Dunkin' Donuts. Bacon and egg.
Ew.
I'll give you cheese. I don't really like cheese on my bacon and egg sandwiches, but bacon, egg, and cheese on a croissant from Dunkin' Donuts is quality 4 a.m. drunk food.
Gentlemen, good question for you both regarding Dunkin' Donuts. Hash browns. Should hash browns be A, fried, B, baked, or C, fried?
A and C.
Yes, A and C. So Jen and I order, like, because they need to be round and golden as part of the superstition, we went for hash brown nuggets. She saw them on the menu and we're like, oh, yeah, we should get those. And they were like the most horrible things. Apparently, they bake them or in a microwave type thing.
Like an air fryer?
No, it's not an air fryer because that's a convection oven. And I would actually, I think I would have preferred them in an air fryer. They would have been good. These were like in the same kind of oven like they use at a Subway. You know, like the ones that they use to kind of heat things up and melt the sandwiches, a Turbo Chef, I think it's called. They were it's pretty hard to fuck up hash browns. I'm just saying it's a one ingredient meal. It's potatoes. There's nothing to it.
Fast food.
And they managed to ruin them.
You see, the thing is like living in New York kind of like warped my way of looking at fast food. Like when we're talking about Dunkin' Donuts and stuff, I'm not saying that but when you got bodegas making it with croissants and like you see them frying up the eggs and you see all of this happening in front of you, I'm like, dude, I cannot fuck with hash browns from Dunkin' Donuts, even bacon. Like that just grosses me out.
Right.
Well, in my humble opinion, the only acceptable hash brown is a McDonald's hash brown, and that is a top 5 food item in the history of the world.
I would throw the hash brown nuggets from Chick-fil-A, which I was a massive supporter of until I figured out that, until I found out that they were bigots and I don't spend their money there anymore. But that's basically, pterodactyl get loose in the house.
Are you guys watching Jurassic Park in the background?
Like the hash brown, my sister, Jen, I keep referring back to you. I think that McDonald's is the holy grail of hash browns, but Carl's Jr. has good hash brown nuggets. That's a quality nugget. That's a quality hash brown. Chick-fil-A is good, but Chick-fil-A, they're bigots, so we're not fans of them. But yeah, I'm just
you know what's good? They don't call it a hash brown, but it's basically a hash brown. Potato cakes from Arby's.
I agree.
It's so good.
It's so crazy. We don't even have access to any of this stuff. I couldn't even tell you where any of these places are in New York.
I gotta, I will tell you this, and you touched on something that, like you have that New York ability, like living in New York, you have access to so many things. And I honestly think that a lot of people, like, no one would know how good the food is in a bodega unless someone spoke to an actual New Yorker and got pointed like, go here, get this.
Yeah.
And I think that, so the first time I ever went to Hawaii 20 some years ago, I was encountered with this phenomenon. So we're driving down the main drag, which is Kalakaua Avenue, and there is this line of people as far as the eye can see, too deep that you would think that they were there to get COVID vaccines. I mean, it was just this long ass line of people. I'm like, God, this must be a really popular, hot happening joint. What are these guys waiting in? It's a cheesecake factory. And I realized that there is something with familiarity, right? Like, people will travel from their home in Des Moines and they won't step out of their comfort zone, and they will seek out things that are familiar to them because they know that that's what they're going to get. That's like whenever you see American tourists in Europe, they're just going to go out and seek the nearest Golden Arches, not because it's great. I mean, I would seek out the nearest Golden Arches just to find all the cool shit that they serve elsewhere in the globe that they don't serve in America. It would be more of a fact-finding thing for me. But most consumers are going to go look for things just because they know that it's like, all right, a McDeal, a McDouble is going to be a McDouble no matter where you get it in the world.
Right.
They don't want to get out of their they don't want to get out of their comfort zones. I think it's a proper time to reintroduce our co-host for the evening, our fourth host. That's Timmy. Everybody in the chat room say hi to Tim.
Uncle Zilla said to say hello. Everyone's going to say hello to you in the chat.
Everybody in the chat room is going to say hi to Tim.
So for those of you listening after the fact and not watching us on Twitch or YouTube, standing next to me is my co-host for the evening, Timmy Zotz. Everybody is saying hello to you. That is Uncle Zilla's sister. But anyway, so that's what I guess we all did for New Year's. Now, how did you guys start your new year? Well, obviously you ate donuts.
I really hit up this whole donut thing for about a half hour. We actually never talked about what Neil did.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. No, I didn't realize we didn't. So I guess I thought we did because we talked about it before the show. But I saw pictures, Neil. You got all dressed up for New Year's, didn't you?
I did.
You were looking handsome.
My roommate wanted to get dressed up. I had no plans. The only plan that I had was I was going to stream to my channel and ring in the new year. It was weird. I was actually supposed to go to. Weirdly enough, I was actually supposed to go to Vermont. And then at that,
you invited to Bernie Sanders' house. What was going on? Vermont.
Yeah,
you go hang out with Ben and Jerry.
Okay, hold on. That is whiter than me going to play golf this morning. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
Are you going to claim that going to Vermont is not white?
I'm going to tell you that he was going to double the ethnic population just by stepping foot in Vermont. That's actually.
I might make news.
That's the coolest thing he could possibly do.
I'm going to go.
There's a guy with a sign. There's a guy with a sign. He's like.
Yeah. he had a radio in like wait, hold on. Am I reading this right? Hold on. Wait.
He's here.
Yeah.
He's here. Over.
Go back and check the fact. Let me see if are we at 2?
Somebody call the Census Bureau. It's time to redraw the districts.
No, it would only be white if I went to Vermont and skied.
No. So what did you go maple syrup testing? That would be the whitest thing of all time.
I was gonna go and just hang out with my buddy Pete because he wanted to go and ski, and I was like, I don't do that. He was like snowboard. I was like, I don't do that either. He was like, what about
antiquing?
What is it? Snowshoeing. I'm like, what?
Okay.
I was like,
everything you're saying is proving my point. Everything.
Yeah, he's asking me because he is white, and I'm like, I don't do that. I was like, snowshoeing. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So nope. So I was like, I am a city boy. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna hang out. Like I hang out in the city. I'm just gonna hang out in the house. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna hang out, and I'm gonna go home. And that's it. I can do that anywhere. I can do that anywhere. That doesn't make it white. What makes it white is when I decide to go skiing. Just letting you know. That's facts right there. But I will double the population. Absolutely.
Which, by the way, that would be the greatest show ever. Is like Neil Jackson IRL white people things, and you go and document doing the weird shit white people do from a multi-ethnic point of view. And I think that would be the greatest show ever.
Yeah, episode 1, Vermont.
Yeah. And we're here at the Ben and Jerry's factory. We're here for a tour, and I brought my own spoon.
Episode 2, Tea Time with Zotz.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, no, I was gonna do that, didn't do that. That kind of fell through, and then I was
hold on.
How did I know?
Our buddy DJ Trade in the chat just said that Coolio is a 6 skier. Is this really true? I really need to know this. That can't be true.
That's not the kind of skiing we're talking about.
Okay. Hey. I rang in the new year with my channel with my community, and we did the West Coast because majority of them are from the West Coast. We did their midnight. Vice popped in just before he started streaming to YouTube and Vegas.com. It was good. It was a good time.
Nice.
You guys look like you had a blast. I mean,
what did you have for dinner? I mean, you have to have something fancy when you get all dressed up.
You had the burgers.
Burgers. I had the special burger that I sort of just came up with. I freestyled that one. Shout outs to Trader Joe's for making it all possible.
I will tell you guys this though, that like seeing Neil and other folks in my social media streams, the ones that were kind of doing their New Year's responsibly, but still taking the time to get dressed up and make it some level of normalcy, keep some level of consistency in that. I thought that was pretty cool. The folks that were going out and partying and just ruining it for the rest of us that are doing the right thing. But yeah, that's
pretty much all of Florida.
Yeah.
Sorry for anybody who's in Florida, but I am really curious on what's going to happen in the next few days.
Nothing's going to happen because it's been like this for months. Florida's been open for months. Atlanta's been open for months. It's not like anything is going to pop off just because of New Year's, because they've been open.
Oh, I'm only saying that everybody in New York is in Florida right now. I'm saying when they come back.
That's
so you're saying, Justin, that's what everyone has been talking about.
What?
Yeah.
It's not the matter of the state being open. It's people that migrate into the states and come back to their own states is what's happening.
So you're saying Florida
when I was in Atlanta, most people were from the Northeast. All the hotels were booked. And when I was walking through the lobby, most of those people were Northeasterns.
Dude, I saw photos of the cab stand and the Uber and Lyft line at McCarran, like the amount of people that were in Vegas, and I'm concerned to see how this is going to shake out in the next couple of weeks. I do want to say this, though. We do have a special guest in the chat room, our friend here from San Diego, the one and only Eric Diaz. Hey, Eric.
Oh, Eric Diaz. I've told him this before. He's going to be blushing right now. It's my favorite local San Diego DJ. He's my favorite. Not as far as being a DJ. And I wasn't going to say like not as a person, but as a DJ. I love him as a person too.
As a performer.
As a performer, he is probably my favorite.
I'm a huge fan of Eric Diaz as well. His
and as a human being.
Yes. But his musical tastes are kind of right in line with mine as well. And I think that's why. But yeah, he's also good people. So welcome, man. Happy New Year.
Wait.
Guess what else Eric Diaz did? He did.
Oh, just play it. Why didn't you play the?
And some others that I'm not going to play because they're longer. But yeah.
Still never figured out the whole traffic jam.
Our multi-talented friend.
Wait, still don't understand the whole traffic jam thing with the night scale. That's true.
Diaz wasn't here for that conversation.
Apparently neither were you.
We had a spirited debate about the traffic jam and then the Knights fighting sound effects. So yeah, that was a fun.
Honestly, if I got into a traffic jam and it sounded like Knights fighting, I might seek out more traffic jams more frequently. But that never happens. So, yeah.
Okay, so back to Neil. Were you done? Now you were done.
I've been done. You kind of derailed it with what are you talking about? They've been open. I'm like, I know that they've been open. I was there.
Yeah.
But that has never been the conversation for most people. Everybody's like, yo, I'm going to be surprised on what is going to happen in the next few days because people have to come home.
Oh, people coming home. Okay, I got you.
That's been the conversation for most of the time for any of these people. Everybody's like, they're all migrating and they have to go back home. And this is where the numbers start to skyrocket.
What about all your San Diego people that are in Austin this weekend? Not Austin. Where did Chingon open? Dallas, Fort Worth. Yeah, there's a bunch of those people coming home too.
Listen. We don't wait. Excuse me. The one thing I want for everybody is safety and good health. That's all. I'm concerned that this could potentially be, and I hope I'm wrong. Listen, the other thing I'm really good at is being wrong. But I have concerns. Neil, back to your New Year's Eve thing, because I don't think we were done. Offline, you mentioned that you got a very early. You did not get an early bedtime. You were up super late. What were you doing until what time did you go to bed?
I went to bed like 5.
So you were just checking
that was the
screens?
first time since March that I have stayed up that late. I think. Oh, I take that back. When I was streaming one time, I stayed up that late, like roughly about that late. But like, I'm not used to that at all anymore. It's the wildest thing. Like here, the sun rises a lot earlier and sets a lot. Early and sets a lot earlier. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't done this in a long time. Forgot what that was like. I was on a high for 2021, but I don't know. It was just crazy. So I stayed up late. I was being rebellious.
I'm gonna out you. Neil actually woke up about 10 minutes, rolled out of bed about 10 minutes before this broadcast, just to recharge his batteries. Crashed out, went to bed, woke up, and joined us for this. This is how his year started.
No.
It can only get better, Neil.
I woke up earlier this morning because I was teaching my roommate Jackie how to stream on Instagram Live because she wanted to find a creative outlet, and I was like, "Yo, you cook. You should do a cooking stream. Sure. Not on Twitch, just something simple on IG with your friends. This and that." Dude, with all this stuff that I got in here, I like rigged up this thing in the kitchen. I had like super clamps with a streaming phone. Then I had her phone, and there was like super 2 angles.
I love their album in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Oh wait, that was Super Tramp. Sorry. Yeah.
And then she did a successful stream. She cooked us breakfast, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. She got super pumped. She's like, 2021, I'm going to become a content creator, and she's going to create like a cooking channel. And it was great to see somebody pumped up like that.
And were you fueled the entire night through with BRL coffee?
I was. I only had 2 cups of Kiss of Life, and I was up. Like I was up.
You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but Neil in late 2020 embarked in a coffee company, which you can find at BRL Coffee Co. So if you want to be up until 5 a.m., you can. The web address is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, or if you're listening to the replay, brlcoffeeco.com. There's currently 3 varieties, 3 different roasts, 4 now. That you can select from. They're all inspired. They're all culturally inspired. There's great descriptions on each and every one of them. But which one is the rocket fuel? The one that was powering you through the night?
Kiss of Life, the light roast, the light medium roast, is a creeper. It tastes delicious.
You should call it Neil Jackson.
Man, that thing will kick you in the nuts. Like seriously, that thing will have you up all night. That's the one that I sent to E-Rock, and E-Rock was like, I got everything done. Everything done last night.
I didn't just clean my room. I cleaned my neighbor's yard.
There he is. He is.
He's saying I'm Kiss of Lifing later tonight. Happy New Year, E-Rock. One of the
Happy New Year, brother.
Greats. It's nice to see you. Welcome back.
All right. So we all had sort of different New Year's Eves last night, which is nice. How did you guys start your new year? Because I mentioned it earlier in the show. I played golf first thing this morning. I had a super early tee time. It was a beautiful morning. It was a little cold when we started, but by the end of the round, it couldn't have been more nice out. Played golf with some friends of mine at the club. Great way to start the year. What about you guys?
Neil?
Oh, I mean, for me, I just woke up early. I helped my roommate do her stream, her very first stream ever, on a cooking channel that she created on Instagram, and then did laundry, ate, took a nap, woke up maybe about 5 minutes before we started streaming this. Hence the reason why my voice might be slightly deeper than normal.
Jen,
Zilla
had a girl in the chat. Of course, I have a list. Zilla, how did you start your new year? What is that?
Little PlayStation 5 action.
Are you playing against E-Rock?
I am not. E-Rock won't add me as a friend. It's a little depressing. Well, he only knows me on this podcast. We see each other in real life. He's like, "Who are you again?"
You look familiar.
No, the cooperative games. I'm going to own this. I suck. So I play games that I play like the single player games. So right now I'm playing the Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. I will add you right now, E-Rock, as soon as we're off the air. And Justin, I think actually, Neil, you'll appreciate this both being native or both being New Yorkers. The attention to detail, like where the old Pan Am building, which I think, what is it, the MetLife building now, is exactly where it's supposed to be in New York City. Times Square is exactly where Times Square is supposed to be in New York City. There are, certain aspects that I just like. If there's a crime happening in Harlem, you are going, you're going uptown, and both directionally and the look and the feel. So I'm not trying to sell PS5s; they sell themselves. But it was one of the things that I thought that it was. Yeah, he said, but if you suck, we are definitely not doing Fortnite duos or COD squads ever. Protecting my KD ratio, which I think is his kill to death ratio. That's one thing I'm proud of this pandemic. Listen, I respect that. That's the thing. This is why I've always been like, I've always competed in individual type things. I mean, I did some team sports as a youngster, but as I got older, when I get competitive, like that's why I'm good on the radio. I don't have to worry about anybody else. I do my own show. First time I ever did a show with other people's with you two, and it was just to keep
are we ruining your what is it?
Honestly,
you ruined his KD ratio.
My KD ratio. In all fairness, I said this at the end of the year. I said this a couple weeks ago. This has been one of the highlights of COVID, is doing this show with you guys every week. It gives me something to look forward to every Friday. So, I will own that.
But if you have a big, if you're streaming to Twitch, is that like something impressive that you could tell some of the ladies in the chat, like, yo, my KD ratio is I don't know how that works, but showing them the number of KD ratio.
I don't know. I mean, my opening shot is I wear gray. My opening shot is I wear gray sweatpants, and I just hope that just moves the needle somewhere. But that's pretty much it.
Some girl on Twitch is like, "Damn, you got a big old KD ratio."
Yeah, right.
Sorry, I don't know how that stuff works, but I'm sure if E-Rock is like protective of it, I'm like, damn.
Gamer, dude, if you've ever walked around, like if you've ever gone to TwitchCon, at Comic-Con or walked the floor at Comic-Con here in San Diego, gamer girls are beautiful, bro. There's some. I would love to date a gamer girl. I think that would be fun. I've never dated a girl that actually appreciated my affinity for video games.
I'm telling you,
they always found it as an annoyance.
On your badge, you should have that. Then your KD ratio. Just walk around winking at people like, "Yo, girl."
E-Rock is saying gray sweatpants and move the needle should never reside in the same sentence. I'm saying, oh, yes, they should.
You're automatically moving the needle.
Purpose, bro. That's I did that. I did that. I did that. That's me. So my new year started playing some video games. I woke up this morning. I ate my 12 grapes. I hung out with my parents. Wished them a very, happy New Year. They're, a couple doors down. They're in the next room over. Spent some time with the family. Sent a couple texts out. Made a couple calls. Prepped some dinner. Played some video games. Just really kept it mellow. Again, in the whole superstition thing, you're really not supposed to. You're not supposed to write checks or do business on New Year's Day because it's symbolic of money leaving you. You're only supposed to do things that attract money to you. So listen, I figure Jen's my sister's smart, dude. And I don't know, she's kind of a little bit of an empath, if that makes any sense. She's just really intuitive, and what's the harm? Like, why? I'll just pay some bills tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
So it ain't gonna hurt.
Speaking of all these superstitions, did you make any New Year's resolutions? Are you a resolution guy? Anybody in the chat as well can chime in here. Did you guys make any New Year's resolutions?
Not as I didn't do like a resolution that's like, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, or I'm going to go and exercise more, or like I'm going to go run 5 miles each and every day. I didn't do anything of that sort. I did kind of just once this thing goes away, I have a bad habit, and I think that just comes from my old my corporate training and my job roles in previous existences, is to always find the worst case scenario and then work around it, which often found me saying no to things that I really didn't have to say no to. Whether it's turning down invitations, or not going places, or not going places. The point I'm making is the one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find more I'm going to say no to things that I really should be saying no to, but finding paths to say yes to things more often if it's going to be to my benefit.
Right.
That's, that's what I think. Perhaps. Hey, Romeo's in the chat room. Did I see that? There he is. Happy New Year, Romeo. Welcome. Another great from the West Coast. We've got the
Happy New Year, Romeo Reyes. Another one of our white label fam and friends.
All right. Well, it's nice to see. It's nice to see. Jen says, "When do I say no? I'm dead." This isn't about you, Jen. He didn't ask you. He asked me. But seriously, that was kind of one of the things that I just like. And I don't have any specific examples. I'm just trying to be open to new experiences. I'm turning 47, as are you, Justin. And
after you,
yes, one month and 3 days after me. But I'm trying to get myself. I'm realizing that I'm becoming very set in my ways, and I don't want to spend my next 30, 40 years on this planet doing exactly what I've done the last 40 years.
Yep.
So I think that I'm just trying to change my mindset into breaking out of comfort zones, trying new things. That doesn't mean I'm going to throw myself out of a plane. That means that if there's a food that I probably didn't eat or didn't like before, I might try something new. I've never been one for Indian food. Maybe I'll give that a try again sometime this year.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I will, because I had a bad experience when I was younger, and I went one time and I never did it again.
Oh man, it's
which
so
is basically why that would be the Yelp review for every woman that's ever dated me. Went there, wasn't the best experience. Kind of gave me a stomach ache. 1 star.
Spent the rest of the night in the bathroom throwing up. God.
I just, maybe read a book that I otherwise haven't read. Make time for me. I think those are the things that I'm going to do. So yeah, nothing crazy, but
Yeah, I think especially with the year that we had this year, everybody needs to shake shit up.
Yes, absolutely.
It was a reset year. It was a bad year, but a reset year. Get yourself uncomfortable. Do something that you're not exactly too comfortable doing. I don't mean tea time. I'm talking about like.
I'm doing it right now, bro. Right this second. This is what I'm doing.
Put yourself in an uncomfortable position and see what you're made of. That's what I'm doing too.
Yeah.
So,
My sister's making fun of me in the chat room. She's like, make time, you're retired. Yes, I mean, I am technically, but also, but in terms of making the time, I think it's also making the effort. The one thing that this year has kind of taught me is that, and this isn't a judgment call, but everybody's busy and everybody's doing their, everybody's got a million and one things happening in their lives, as am I. But it's hard not to notice that, like, there's, some folks have made the effort and to stay connected to me. So a couple of things that I'm going to do is that I've been really shitty about staying connected to people myself. So I want to make the effort to be a better friend, to be a better son, to be a better brother, to be a better person, to be a better citizen, and to be a better human. That's really on my agenda in terms of self-improvement. It's not, I got to hit the gym 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I'm only going to eat 300 calories a day. Like that. That's irrelevant to me.
Yeah, it's all different for everybody. Like, for instance, I remember having a conversation with Romeo Reyes. I don't know if he's still in the stream. I mean, he just launched the CBD for pets, a CBD oil product or something, or rather oil for pets, and he just launched it last week.
Congratulations, bro!
Very proud of him. It was inspired by a tragic situation, but he's fired up about that. And like, I launched a coffee company, and I'm not saying that it's different for everyone. For me, it was like new revenue stream, something that I'm passionate about. And same with Romeo. Romeo was like, I lost my dog. This is what worked for him. I want to, but it always changes. And then he released that one. I was like, damn, go ahead, Romeo.
I mean, I know I know of someone that, took 2020 and their resolution in 2021, like they had a really, really bad year, and their steps was just to get help. Like, good for you for owning it, whatever it is, like whatever you need in terms of help. Like, if that's going to make you a happier, healthier person in 2021, do that. And you know what? And I'm going to cheer you along the way in the meantime, right? Like, that's all I'm looking for. All the other shit where people are like, oh, my resolution is I'm going to get, I'm going to get a Bentley in the driveway and a big house and, take the PJ, to Paris. And like, that shit's all irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like,
man, some people there's certain people that just need to just blow off steam. And then there's some people that are doing what you're trying to do, doing what we're all trying to do. Try something new. Reinvent yourself.
It's funny, Neil. You actually touch on something. We use the word building a community, and within like the Twitch sphere, and also in real life. Like, that's what I'm at this point in my life. The term "no new friends" is rather cliche, but it's also really true, right? Like, I want to be the best friend and cheerleader and supporter of my friends in their endeavors. And I'm hoping that there's some reciprocity in that for me. Like, that's all I want to do. Like, there's just so much hate and negativity and venom out in this world. I want none of it anymore. Like, I'm just over it. I'm not competing with anybody but this guy right here, and I just want to be a better me. I want to see all my friends. I want all my friends to be millionaires. Like, I don't want to be a millionaire. I want all my friends to be millionaires, and I'm going to support them. And if there's a way that I could do it, and they call and they're like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" and I can help contribute to that, I don't even want to eat off your plate. I just want to make sure your plate is full, right? Like, that's my New Year's resolution. I want to create a better life. I want to create a better community, and the best way to do that is just to be more open, more available, more me.
Yep.
That's it. That's what I got.
So the chat has asked, what was yours, Justin?
I did not have one. Didn't even think about it.
So let's put you on the spot right now.
I'm just hanging on, man. Just hanging on, trying to get through this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is enough of a goal to just keep my head above water.
And I think that I think that's totally respectable, right? Like, at some point, it really is just, I'm just trying to hold it together. And there's no shame in that, right? There's nothing wrong with saying my priorities in 2021 is I'm just going to, do the best. I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better friend. Like, that's all good. There's nothing wrong that can come out of that. So, and I'll say it right now, like, if I could do anything in that process, you know where to find me because you text me every day. So there it is. Can we just talk about, though, how cool my smile is getting?
It is pretty impressive, actually.
It's getting there. It's getting there. I really
bright. Those
that's the lighting.
Those bad boys are bright.
They're all mine.
It's like,
I'm getting like game show host status on.
You look like George Hamilton.
It's like chiclets.
Yes.
Like they jammed
really
up in your gums.
They are like little chiclets. Like I could, sell these while people are trying to cross the border.
It's like dentine ices, just like rammed up your gums.
Can I just tell you that, like, the stuff that you could buy crossing the border, I haven't done it in a while, but I really miss that shit. Like, living in a border town, people just don't know how cool we have it living, like you could look over there and there's another country. And,
it's crazy. I've driven, going towards the border and you could see past it and the hills that are facing you. You're like, damn, that's a whole nother country right there.
Yeah. Like there's a giant Mexican flag that's just waving right when you cross in. And it's like,
that's wild.
Like we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. It's, but the stuff that you could buy at the border, the chiclets by the case, paper mache Bart Simpsons, Corona branded, which I'm sure they're changing the branding to Pacifico or Dos Equis, because they would sell Corona sarapes and sombreros and blankets, like nobody wants anything that says Corona on it these days. But it is, I'm actually looking for, that's the other thing. Like I haven't gone to Mexico in forever, and that country is right across the border. And I would be like, oh no, Mexico, blah, blah, blah.
It's closer than LA.
It is. And in the last handful of years, the wine country in El Valle de Guadalupe, that they have amazing vineyards just 30 minutes south of the border. Resorts, hotels, restaurants, like these gastronomic expeditions, some great chefs that are in that region. And I've never it's time to just put on my big boy pants and it's like, it's right there. Go. And Mexico.
Don't go right now, but
no, not right now, right this minute. But when things are safe and sound, why not make that a Saturday afternoon day trip?
Oh yeah, man. If I lived in San Diego, dude, I'd be in Mexico a few times a month. Few times.
I mean, my sister's saying Tulum is open, not for long. Everyone is vacationing in Tulum. Yeah, well, it's going to be Tulum because it's going to be.
Anybody with money that I know is in Cabo or Tulum.
I know some broke motherfuckers that are out there too, bro.
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah. Me too, but I'm just saying,
what?
People are doing it.
Listen,
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Maybe if
people are doing a lot of things right now.
No, I know, and this has been my argument since day one. Like, unless you're going to shut everything down, allowing us to police ourselves doesn't work. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
You mean letting the inmates run the asylum? Is that what we're suggesting?
Yes.
Justin and Neil, I want to pose this question to you both. If you guys both had proof positive that you had both had it, that you'd had it within, let's say, the last 4 or 5 months. So for all intents and purposes, you personally are immune. Would that change your behavioral pattern right now in the way that you look at things or the way that you're doing things?
No. I've thought about this yesterday, actually. Absolutely not.
I think it's a valid question.
I'm not doing anything until there's some sort of resolution because nobody knows what's going on. So when chaos happens, I tend to stop until some sort of clarity kind of comes over where I'm like, okay, then this, because if you tend to do everything to like, I don't know, keep yourself entertained, do this, that, and the other, nothing is going to get figured out. It's just a frantic mess. So with this, like, I don't know how long I'm immune for. Even with the vaccination, nobody knows how long that thing's going to last for. I'm waiting for something to happen. And in the meantime, I'm going to figure out how to get through this in a safe way.
Romeo in the chat room brings up an interesting point, and he's like, I thought you can catch it more than once. And I'm under that impression as well. But there are some people that believe that if you get it once, you can't get it again.
No, I know somebody who has it twice. Who had it twice?
I know someone who had it, and then relapsed a few months later.
I know somebody who has not gotten rid of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a school teacher. A school teacher in Long Island has literally been dealing with it. I know somebody at Tao Group, way up in the food chain. Actually, you and I both.
You don't gotta brag, bro. Just tell the story.
We both know him, and he actually, I think he may have just gotten over it again. Gotten over it for the second time. So I'm the immunity thing. It's bullshit to me right now. I'm just gonna wait until something. And in the meantime, I'm just going to figure out my hustle now.
Right.
How am I going to survive through this right now?
I mean, whether or not I had it 4 or 5 months ago, just like to answer your question, wouldn't affect anything I would do in my life.
Right.
In a couple ways. I am very safe when I go out into the real world. I wear my mask everywhere for my own safety, but more importantly for the people that I'm interacting with out of respect. Okay. But whether I had it 4 or 5 months ago or didn't have it 4 or 5 months ago, if I didn't have, a family that I was taking care of, I'd be in Mexico. I probably wouldn't come back. I'd just quarantine down there, lay by a pool every day. Why not?
It's a very interesting dynamic. I revert back to it's a virus, and viruses do what viruses do. And us as human beings, the one thing that's always seemed to catch human beings in the throes of history is our arrogance, right? Like whenever, that's why tuberculosis got so many people. That's why, that's just. I think we need to do we just need to do a better job. And anyways, sorry, I lost my train of thought on that. I'm a little concerned for everybody that's just kind of crisscrossing the country. Or, for example, there was a big party that was thrown here in San Diego in a warehouse in the Miramar area. Justin, I know you know that area. They had so many people in this warehouse that they built like a stage, and then the stage collapsed. The quickest way to not get the police to not come and bust up your illegal New Year's party is not go rinky-dink on your stage build-out and have it collapse at like 11:30 so all the cops and fire rescue show up to break up your party because people got in.
I mean, it's San Diego. I mean, when you have a stage for a DJ, that's where 90% of the people are going to be.
That's true. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
I've been to parties in San Diego where there are more people behind the DJ than were on the dance floor, myself 100%. Included. I'm not going to listen.
True.
I'm just as guilty as it gets. I'm a fucking DJ booth snob.
Oh my god! Like that meme. Like that meme.
Yes, 100%.
Oh yeah. It's so good.
Holding on to your lapel leg.
But I think I've earned it. Like I'm actually these are my actual friends, like inside and outside of, the business aspect of it. Like we are friendly and we are friends. But But man, oh man, this town sometimes it gets pretty. Joseph, get right. Saying, are we talking about DJ groupies now? I'm just saying that they exist. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying that I don't know what it's like in other cities. I just happen to know in the city in which I live.
Wait, are we talking about groupies or like the DJ booth snobs, like the meme?
Well, I'm gonna say that I'm a snob and I'm snobbish at the groupies.
Okay. No, because I'm looking at the chat. Are we talking about DJ groupies? Groupies and the DJ snobs are two completely different people in the ecosystem of the DJ booth.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, which one are we talking about right now? But you're talking about you being the DJ snob.
I'm a little bit of both, right? Because like I go out and I support my friends. Like I'll go out with my friends that are out working, back in the day. When we could actually do that, I would do that, and then I would pass judgment on other people. Of course.
Yeah. Oh my God! When that meme came out, all of my friends, and I want to know this from the chat. All my friends that posted it that were not DJs, I had to call them out in one by one. Like my friend Michelle posted it and was like, "Ha ha 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 ha," and I was like, "That was you." That was you. And then I was like, and the people behind you, that was so-and-so, and that was so-and-so. There was a few people that posted, and I was like, what are you talking about? That was you.
If I can't hang out, if I'm going to a club for whatever reason, whether it's to support one of the guys I work with, someone I don't work with, whether I'm just going out for a night with friends, if I'm not hanging out in the booth, I'm probably not going. And that's not because I want to be cooler than anyone else. It's because I don't like being around people. I know that's not going to be, earth-shattering news to anyone. I don't feel comfortable when I'm in a crowd. I like to be secluded in a bit of an area. And I have no problem not going somewhere. I'd prefer just not to go. And it's not me being like a baby about it. If someone invites me somewhere, like to a festival, I will ask, do I have artist passes? If the answer is no, I will say, thank you, but I'm probably not going to go. And that's, and I'm not saying that because I want them to get me the artist passes. It's not where I'm comfortable being, and I won't enjoy myself.
I feel like everybody, like me, E-Rock, and Romeo, since we're all here, and Zilla, I think we should all pitch in for a late Christmas gift for Justin and buy one of those
an artist pass to Coachella 2020.
Or like on that meme. Wait, hold on, because I know you want to come.
It broke up. I didn't hear what you said. It broke up.
I say that we should pitch in and get him one of those medieval blouses that we saw on the meme, so he can go in the booth and just stand there like
game blouses.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Like, look, if you want to be in this booth, this is your artist badge. Put this on so you could stand at the edge and just be like.
I mean, I've been in charge of regulating DJ booths for so many years of my life that
is so weird because I almost had you kicked out of 2.
Well, 2? No, 1. Where was the second one?
Well, Marquee was one. That was the first.
Oh, yeah, no.
That was the first one. I was like, I looked at security guards. They looked at me. I was like, hold on. I was like, you do that shit one more time. There was another one. I want to say it was where were we at just before Philly?
Wait,
No. So the story is, I don't know if I told you the story. The story was, I think White Label had just started. We were in Marquee. I was closing out the night. This dude's wasted. We had the talent buyer in his VIP section. This dude turns the CDJ off in mid-set and then looks at me like this. Just completely blank-faced. Now, if you guys don't know, Marquee is the biggest nightclub size-wise in New York City. Closing out the night, this dude shuts the music off. That's almost like getting on the microphone and screaming as loud as you possibly can. is the silence that came over that nightclub.
Well, I would have done that, but you wouldn't give me the mic.
The security guards looked at me. I was like, wait, hold on. But I was like, if you do that shit one more time, I swear to God, I will drag you out of here myself. So anyway.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, Justin. You know what's funny is Justin's talking about regulating booths, and I got to tell you this though.
On purpose, Claudia.
Nine times out of 10, when I'm out like with my friends, if we ever find ourselves in a nightclub, I often become that guy. Like I become the guy that my friends lean on. Like, yo, I have no idea who this is. Get him out of here. Because when you're 6'6" and as white as a house like I am, or people are like, do you think I could come into the booth? I'm like, I don't work here, bitch. I'm just here, or I don't work here, homie. I'm just here to have drinks and hang out. Like, do you see a radio here? I'm not on the clock. But a lot of times, it'll be like, yo, so and so needs bounce them, get them out. All right, cool. I'll help. I'm a helper. Mr. Rogers said, whenever you're in trouble, look for the helpers. I'm a helper.
Mine is usually, I've only had to kick one dude out, but it's usually girls that I've got to kick out of the booth. My guy friends hate it.
99% of the time.
There's been times, a lot of the times, like a girl will sneak in and then like touch the CDJ, which will if you touch this part of the CDJ, the music completely stops.
You mean not putting their drink on it while it's in motion? Because that's always a thing too.
Oh, did you ever see the video Spider? Kind of it was viral.
So good.
Oh, so good. If you haven't seen it, go find it on go find it on YouTube.
Oh my God.
Somewhere.
If you guys don't, look up DJ Spider. And it was like a girl in the booth. And if you guys don't find it, basically what happens is he's at a club and he's playing very focused guy. And like this girl's dancing around and she gets closer and closer to the equipment and she reaches for one of the CDJs and you could see him smoothly just brush her out of the way.
He like works like gets his shoulder in there.
Yeah, he like gets his whole body in it.
So
I had to text him about that. I was like, "What? What?"
I don't think I have the temperament. Like I have the temperament to look out for other people, but if people were actually fucking with my shit, I don't think I have the temperament to deal with that. I think I would go full Zutz. Like I would just, I
have lost my shit a number of times. Like we should bring on, who we should bring on one time? We should bring Sidney Sampson on and he can tell the story about intervention when I just lost my mind in the DJ booth when he was there.
Wait, I was there every time Sidney played.
Of course you were there.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering what happened.
I'm not going to tell the story.
That's another. Yeah, we'll let him tell the story. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You're loud.
I am loud.
Yeah. Thank you, Timmy Zotz. Yes, your dad is loud. That is true. He's been a pretty good co-host. He's been hanging out most of the hour and 18 that we've been running so far. Good job, Tim.
Yeah, he's just hanging out.
It's all right.
I think he's ready for some dinner soon.
That's
you ready
pretty
for
good.
Dinner? No.
Okay. Well, then this will lead me to my next question. How are you guys spending your $600 stimulus check? And that goes for the chat room too. What are you doing with your massive $600 windfall?
Does everybody get it?
Yeah, I think everybody does get it, but it depends on what your annual income was. I think it's like 75,000. Anything over 75,000, it starts to decrease by 100 or something like that.
Well, do we get paid anything for doing this podcast?
No. So are we all
okay? So I made like $8 this year, or last year.
Honestly, what I thought that was going to happen was Justin was going to say, you know what? I'm going to split it between Rob and Neil, and I'm going to give my $600. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your stimulus.
Right.
But apparently that was not the case.
Not the case.
Not the case. Definitely not happening.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm getting one, but if I do, that'd be cool.
I'm actually checking I'm checking my Chase account right now to see if it's pending.
Yeah, but I think throughout all of that, there's other things. Like for us, they extended unemployment. They extended the unemployment payout.
I was getting unemployment, but then I started working a little bit, and then I went like 4 weeks later to go and claim all the weeks that I hadn't claimed, just because I felt I should, and like they cut me off or something. So whatever. I stopped even trying.
Dude,
yeah, but I'm working now, so I can't claim it anyway, technically.
Yeah, but I think you're going to get like one for you and then one for each kid.
Yeah.
So you got like 18 hundo coming your way, bro.
Sick. What can I do with it? What should I do
with it? Tulum with all the rest of the people that got their
Yeah, you're talking about like the rich people in Tulum. You're the rich person in Arizona. You're like the last baller left.
Yeah, open up the bar at right after tea time tomorrow.
The reason why I'm saying that is because there are people that actually think that $1,800 is some life-changing sum of money.
Well,
$1,800 is
okay. Hold on.
I'm just saying $1,800 is rent. $1,800 is life support money. It's not extravagance money. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying that it's not insignificant.
The way you started that sentence was
no. That
was like a Justin statement. The way you started that one.
I was coming into the point that $1,800, while a significant amount of money, is significant in what it can do in your day-to-day life. It's not it ain't your shoes money. It shouldn't be. It should, or the $600 for that matter. That shouldn't be go out and buy yourself an Xbox money. It's, make sure.
Well, here's the thing. I had this conversation with the guys I was playing golf with today. And
were they all millionaires too, Justin?
What do you mean?
We were talking about millionaire problems.
The private golf club.
So we were talking about the $600, and it does nothing, right? If you're out of work for a month, $600 can help. But you've been out of work for 10 months. That $600 does nothing, because whatever if you were in a position where you needed money, either you've already figured out a way to stay alive, or you're homeless. And the 600 is not going to help. If you were out of work for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 600 can help. But at this point, what's 600 do? It doesn't do anything.
I mean, I've made Costco runs that are more than $600, and I'm not trying to diminish its value. I'm just saying that the people need more.
The people need more, yes. But I think 600 is 600 right now, and
of course,
as long as it's been, anything will help.
Just don't. I guess what I'm saying is that, and listen, thank God we have a smart audience, and we have and hopefully the people that are checking in on this show after the fact are also equally responsible. Just don't spend it on something stupid. Buy that something stupid later.
Yeah.
That save it for a rainy day if you can. It's
I kind of
unless you're going to subscribe to this channel, then by all means send that money.
If you're living off that 600 and you subscribe to this channel, I will ban you myself.
Look, if you need to buy clothes for your kids or groceries, you should. And if you spend it on an Xbox, you're a dick. But
yes,
if you're in a position where you don't really need that money and you're doing okay and you're still working, you never lost your job, you're okay. I don't mind if you go spend it on something fucking stupid, because guess what? We're all trying to get through this thing in our own way. And if buying an Xbox so you can sit down and play, or going on a small vacation that maybe clears your mind and keeps you sane, do that.
Fair enough. I'm going to say, I will add to that. And if you're ever so inclined, I would just ask you to consider finding somebody in your community, whether it's a local restaurant, if you want to, if you were going to buy a nice dinner, instead of going to a Ruth's Chris, I'm not saying Ruth's Chris is bad, because they employ local people and they're great, but maybe the mom and pop steakhouse or the mom and pop Italian joint around the corner that might be struggling, maybe consider spending some of that stimulus money in your community with folks that might be struggling to pay rent and keep their employees on the payroll. Just consider that. That might be a great way to spend your money, or buy a gift card to the local place and use it as a later date, perhaps. I don't know. Just a thought.
Justin?
Awkward silence.
Yeah. Are you there, Justin?
Yes, no, I'm here. I
or
can't
just subscribe to our channel for $5. Whatever. Gift it to 120 of your friends. Whatever.
I can't disagree with what you just said, Rob. I just think the last thing anybody needs to be doing in this time we're in is being critical of other people for however they're getting through this without blowing their brains out.
No, that's why that's why I'm not saying it as, I'm not trying to pass judgment. I'm not trying to say it as judgmental. Yeah. I'm offering a suggestion like, hey, if this hasn't crossed your thought process, if you haven't already allocated those funds, right? Maybe think about spending it this way. Maybe Starbucks, and listen, Starbucks is great. Love Starbucks. But maybe if you're going to spend $100 in coffee in the next month, maybe spend $50 at a Starbucks and spend $50 at the neighborhood roastery around the corner that's struggling. I don't know. I mean,
or brlcoffeeco.com.
I knew that was coming. I lobbed it right up for you.
I was like, sorry to interrupt, Rob, but I'm gonna have to take this one.
I literally just like that. You can find the web link scrolling on the bottom of the page here. But you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, you've got that stimulus money. Maybe instead of ordering Postmates where they're going to take 30% of the rip from that local restaurant, maybe order direct, get up off the couch if you can, if you're so inclined, if you're in a capacity to do so, and go and pick it up in person so that restaurant might be able to keep 100% of the proceeds of the sale. And that might, let's say it's a $50 dinner. Well, 30% of that is going to, giving that money up is going to hurt.
You know what sucks? All the restaurants I order from around here, you don't even have the option to order direct from them. You have to use either Postmates or Grubhub or DoorDash.
For delivery or for pickup?
Both.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? As the owner of a small restaurant, I have a little bit of an opinion on this. I would say so. The commission is actually significantly smaller. The commission is significantly smaller when you're doing a pickup order. It's only 10%. Even when you're putting it through those platforms, a lot of the mom and pop shops don't have the wherewithal or the capacity to build out an online ordering system. So that's a small price to pay for the convenience of having online ordering and having someone come up and pick it up. So all day, if you could phone it in, phone it in. If you could pick it up, pick it up. I'm just saying that the Cheesecake Factory is going to be here after the pandemic. Olive Garden will be here after the pandemic. But, the mom and pop shop, the Italian restaurant that you grew up on, the yogurt shop around the corner that you used to frequent as a kid may or may not make it in the next 3 to 6 to 9 months. So if you're so inclined, if that crosses your thought process, just consider keeping your money in your community if you can. That's all.
I do an IRL stream every Sunday now. My IRL streams where I'm riding my bike. I ride a bike to a small mom and pop bakery, or I buy a product that's made from New York that's within the bakery of bike riding distance, and I'll go and stream it of me purchasing it. And I tag the company, I tag the bakery that I do it in, just to support. And if they have an online component, whoever's viewing can actually purchase it themselves too. So
that's amazing. I guess that's really the one thing that is going to come out of this pandemic thing, or that's one of the things that are going to come out about it is, there's the renewed attention to the local spots. I can't tell you how many times, like, I will post about a neighborhood place closing, because that's kind of some of the content I put out on my Facebook and my Instagram is, I'll keep a running tally on things. And people are like, oh my God, I can't believe they closed. That was my favorite. And then I will politely, I'm not doing it dickishly, but I'll be like, well, when was the last time you were there? you know, because if you were, and you were supporting them, then perhaps they might not be in such dire straits. Who knows, right? Like none of us have access to the books. Again, I'm just saying, if you have the opportunity, support local first. The big boys will be around, in 6 months. But Nunzio's Pizza Parlor might not.
Who? Nunzio?
I just brought up the name. I have a friend named Nunzio, and he makes.
Okay. I was like, wow, that's very specific. Nunzio Pizza
for a pizza joint.
But like Justin,
I want a T-shirt.
Yeah, right. Well, like
Nunzio's Pizza.
you know what I mean? Like here on the West Coast, like like the ubiquitous red sauce, pizza pasta joint is on every corner in New York City, right? But here in Southern California, they are a little further and they're farther and fewer between. Like we have the Filippi's, we have the Pernicanos of the world here in Southern California, or in San Diego specifically. A little spot in Lemon Grove called Lido's. But for the most part, like otherwise, they've either evolved into the Barbusas of the world and the Busalaki groups. Shout out PJ and the Busalaki's team. You guys are fighting the good fight. But like I said, if you forget food, maybe there's a local farmer's market, maybe there's a local jeweler. And maybe you wanted to buy something nice for a family member. Consider spending your money with a local jeweler, not going to Kay's or Zales.
What the?
Who's considering going to Kay's or Zales?
Don't you know that every kiss begins with K? You know how many commercials now that Christmas is behind us? You know how many commercials you're going to be seeing for somebody to like spend 3 times their salary on a ring for Valentine's Day? What a piece of marketing! That is 3 months salary. Jenna in the chat room actually brings up an interesting point. Like, there are some creators on Etsy. Support, if you just want to get some cool stuff for yourself, no one's telling you not to do it. I'm just saying maybe just, do it with an independent creator that you might find on a website like Etsy.
I never really paid attention to too many independent artists and producers of various different things until this whole pandemic thing. And like there is some ever since I launched this coffee company, I was like I'm paying attention to all these like pastry chefs and stuff like that. And like I didn't realize there was so many local cool spots and companies that came out of New York and Brooklyn. It's crazy.
It's the forced pivot, right? When you really think about it. I was always taught, like, in times of adversity, you adapt and overcome. And whether you were furloughed, you lose your job, or your hours get cut. I think people have this dynamic drive for the most part to want to be successful, to go out and create, to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. And I think that 2020 look at the community you've built. Look at the community E-Rock has built. Look at this show. I mean, this show was just kind of born out of us just looking for a way to have an outlet in our own little niche path, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's par for the course for 2020 and moving into 2021. I think people became more comfortable in putting themselves out there in a way that people otherwise weren't comfortable in seeing them. Right. I know Neil as a DJ. Now I know Neil as a content creator, as someone who gets up every morning with does his BRL live streams, does the IRLs, and now owner of a coffee company. You've expanded your, the definition of who you are throughout this entire pandemic. And I don't think that that's unique to you. I think so many other people in their own different ways have done that. So let's just, if you can, support them. And if you can't,
I think E-Rock posted this Instagram story, and I saw it. I was like, "Damn, that was good." I think it was Diddy. He was like, "If 2020 didn't, I don't know. I don't know if E-Rock's still listening, but hopefully he'll be able to chime in on this." But it was like, if 2020 didn't bring the hustle out of somebody,
the hustle was never in them.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn, that was that was good." So,
but isn't it true?
Yeah.
Like the old adage is like, a diamond is started out from a lump of coal, and it's just a lump of coal under pressure and under constant pressure, under constant heat, and then it becomes a diamond. I'm saying 2020 is that pressure, and all of us are big lumps of coal, as crazy as that sounds, and it's up to us whether or not what we're gonna make out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna challenge that quote.
Sure,
of course you are.
Please do.
Right, of course I am.
No, I'm interested in the other point of view.
I'm not saying I believe this, but I'm saying that someone could look. This whole situation was not easy on anyone, right?
Nope.
I truly believe that everyone has to do what's best for them to survive through this. Now, some people, that means grinding away, trying to figure something out, pivoting to a different career, or trying something new. We tried a podcast. None of us have ever done a podcast before. Guess what? We tried it. For certain people to get through this, they needed to take a step back and not be so aggressive and always grinding. So some people needed this, or possibly use this as the stepping stone to the next step. Some people worked harder. Some people had to take a step back and said, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to connect with my family and take a break from my last 20 years in finance, or, my job doing whatever that I'm miserable at for the last 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's different. And I don't disagree with the quote, because it's a great quote. And if that's what you use this for, great. But if you use this to get mentally healthier, physically healthier, emotionally, spiritually healthier, and you're in a worse, quote unquote, worse position financially or professionally, that still could be okay.
Hey, Justin, first of all, I think you're absolutely right. But I think that the key word in that quote is the hustle, which is the entrepreneur mentality. I think that you are 100% right, and I think that quote is 100% right. I think what they're saying is that if you ever aspired to be a hustler and things and to be an entrepreneur and take certain aspects in, and this whole situation wasn't the motivation enough to get you to do that, then maybe that just isn't the appropriate life for you, perhaps.
Right.
Okay. That being said, you are 100% right in that if the whole forest for the trees thing, you need to take a step back, reevaluate, find things that are important and motivating to you. I think that both can be right without either one being wrong. So as much as it pains me to agree with you.
Both of those things happened to me. I pivoted and created, but I also took a step back and realized the things that are most important to me, and I got rid of the things that weren't.
Right.
Because I agree, mental health, physical health, all of it is important, especially now because the wheels are coming off. We just recently had a friend, a DJ buddy streamer. I think he's currently in the hospital.
I'm sorry.
Not the other one with COVID. There's actually a recent one that happened, and I think it was due to stress and mental health.
Can you text me and tell me who it is? Because I haven't heard any of this.
No one really knows about it. There's only 2 people that know about this. But the whole point is like the whole mental health thing is super important, and you have to take a step back and reevaluate and clear your head and take a different approach to what the fuck's going on right now. So I did both.
I mean, and there were countless DJs that when E-Rock and you and D Nice and all you guys first started, Five and Deluxe. Well, Deluxe we had to drag Deluxe into the mix, but Five, actually Five had to get dragged into a little bit. But a lot of the guys that kind of started out kind of anti-streaming took time for themselves, and then they said, you know what? If this is the way the world is, I better jump in now. And then, so like you're saying, you did both. I think they did too, in a way. And I think, everybody had to do what was best for them.
When we talk
I don't
about
think anyone has said anything in the chat for 5 minutes.
No, they're fine.
We got a little serious.
No, I think that they're actually listening. I want to believe that the folks in the chat room are actually listening because this is meaningful. I will kind of wrap up my opinion on this, going back to what we were talking about, goals for 2021. I honestly think that it is it's about time that we actually normalize talking about mental health and supporting our friends in that endeavor. I don't think any of us will deny the fact that life is hard. I think what makes life harder is the stigmatization of mental health, especially when within like being males, that mental health, pursuing mental health is somehow seen as a weakness. We need to stop that. We need to normalize, like if someone has a gunshot wound, we don't tell them that they're weak. If they have a heart attack, we don't tell them that they're weak by dialing 911. But for whatever reason, when someone is having an emotional collapse, and it's happened to all of us, and if it hasn't, it will. There should be we shame people for breaking down emotionally and intellectually, and we need to stop that shit. Yeah. We need to not just for their sakes, but for our own. And really embrace wellness and health from an emotional standpoint and just being there for one another. I'm not saying that I want to take on, that I'm capable of taking on your burdens, the things that are going on in your life, Neil, or in your life, Justin, or anybody that's in the chat room. That's not the point in this. The point is saying, I hear you, I see you, I'm here for you. How can I help you? My phone is on. What do you need? And if they need professional help, helping them find that. I think we could do a better job of that as people. I think we need more of that. If society as a whole turned around and said, you know what? Mental health is just as important as going out and running 2 miles every day, and is just as important as, if we held psychiatrists and psychologists in the same esteem that we hold orthopedic surgeons and vascular surgeons, they're all fixing different problems, but it's still fixing problems. So that's my 2 cents on that. That's my goal for 2021, is to maybe be a little bit more vocal in trying to help normalize the stigma of mental health. And Get Right's in the chat room saying breaking down is not wrong, but not getting up and making excuses is the issue. I don't necessarily know. Get Right. I hear what you're saying, and I don't necessarily know if I agree wholeheartedly, because again, we've stigmatized the pursuit of health so much. I don't think that we've empowered one another. People don't have the tools to go out and get right, to get up. That's not ingrained in us. Sometimes we have to reach out to our fellow human beings and say, I need help. But that's not, pride gets in the way. That's not an easy thing to do. Ego gets in the way. And the lack of information, there's a lot of help out there that people just don't know how to access it. So I'm going to respectfully say, I agree. And to an extent, I don't. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from with that. Jay Sean is saying sometimes people just need an ear to listen. It can be simple as that. Healing starts with first admitting that you need help. I couldn't agree more with that statement. I have a friend of mine, God bless him, and it starts, and sometimes the call will just start with, I just need to vent for 5 minutes. And I know that that's the, Rob, you need to shut the fuck up portion of the program, which doesn't come very naturally to me. But you know what I mean? It's like, I think for that particular, in that case, even that's hard for people to say, right? I need to vent. You're exposing vulnerability, emotional vulnerability. That's hard for people to do. Guys, what do you think? I happen to be of the belief that just saying that you need something from another human being is hard.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I hate asking for help. I hate it. Absolutely.
I'm the king of hating for asking for help.
I call Zilla once a month, and this is how I start the conversation. Zilla, you need to tell me I'm not crazy. And then I go into some story that happened to me that day that like has me like upset. Well, not always mad, sometimes upset.
Well, yeah.
But it's like, if you don't have someone that you can call like that, find someone that you can call like that, and I don't, maybe that's easier said than done. But I think that if you're embarrassed or feel like you don't know how to ask somebody, I think you'd be surprised that most people you approach and start to talk to about something will be more than willing to help.
I think that's more so now, especially in light of the current situation where, again, mental health is coming to the forefront in a lot of our discussions. But yes, Claudia, to your point in the chat room, Justin and I have an ability to both talk each other off a ledge.
Mm-hmm. And Neil is the same way. Neil's the other guy one of the other guys I talk to.
But that's what friends do. My sister who's in the chat room, Jen, and I keep referring back to her, but we share a house together, and she's probably one of 3 other humans that I see the most frequently. She and I share this one personality trait. She doesn't like to burden anybody, and neither do I. There are times where I will just, if you know me, I will bury everything unhealthily. I will bury whatever I'm feeling until I fucking snap. And it's like, and it's a light switch. There's a version of me that 90% of the world sees and 90% of the world is good with. But when I cross that threshold, I'm not pleasant. But my sister is also a bit of an empath. I think I've said that before. She's actually a certified Reiki healer. I don't know if you guys know that.
What is Reiki? I never could figure that out.
Energy healing.
Okay.
And it's something that she studies, and that's so it as part of. I hope, Jen, I didn't out you. I hope I didn't share that. Like I shouldn't, but that's something that she does.
Is there Reiki shaming?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that she's also, what, Justin, you've known Jennifer for a very long time. She's also very intuitive. She's also very, when I say an empath, she's also very caring, right? Like, I know I sound a certain way because she's my sister, but I really, she's a good egg. She's just good.
She's everyone's sister. She's like everyone's sister.
It really is. She's just, she's everybody's kid's sister. And that's just the way it's kind of worked out. And she's introduced me to a lot of those things. And then we're seeing a lot of people are chiming in the chat room about Reiki as well, about energy healing and letting go of certain things and clearing blocks. So if you guys need a good spiritual healer, if that's just more your jam and you're just not into the traditional Western side of medicine, hit up my sister in the chat room and she'll get you pointed in the right direction. That's where I was going with this.
I'm more with Get Right on the. I don't ask for help because I always feel like I can do it myself.
Yeah. But you see, that's a self-esteem thing. So that's how it was thrown back into my face, because I've said that in the past, and it's like the reason I feel this way. I'm not going to say you feel that way, but it was positioned to me, and I agree with this statement. I feel that I need to take on everything and do everything myself, because it validates my own impression of my self-worth to me by saying, I got it done. I have to do it.
Well, it's not even so much as that. It's I'm just really hard on myself. I need to get it done. I just want to get this done. And so I just do it myself. I don't ask for help. Neil, if you need to get it done, do it yourself. And I end up spreading myself out too thin. But it's not
we're the same person.
it's I'll always say yes. If people need help, I'll help them. I will do it. I'll do my thing myself. And I end up like spinning my wheels a lot of the times. But
I get it.
I think it's I get it. I get that from my parents. My parents were just like, not saying that, you know, different ways of is considered hard work, but my dad was always I'll just do this shit myself, and he'll just like get it done, or you'll get the shit done, and I just do it. Like it's just kind of mechanical almost.
Well, I want to propose this, gentlemen, is that I think it's a generational thing as well. I mean, here we are, three guys that are, you know, first of all, we're three males, Generation X. You know, the generation right behind us, you know, the generation behind us, the baby boomers were, you know, big, proud, strong guys, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't talk about mental health. Our generation kind of started that breakthrough, right? In seeking help and talking about it. You know, our children, you know, the millennials and then our kids, they're going to have the benefit of acceptance when it comes to, and not only just acceptance, but encouragement of seeking mental health. I think that our generation just didn't have the benefit. Psychiatrists and psychologists were often looked at as quacks.
Would you say that? Would you say that in addition to generational, it's cultural?
Oh, 100%.
You know, Neil, as you know, a black man. I mean, is it?
Wait, you're black, Neil?
Jackson? That ain't like, there is no part of Asia that you'll ever see another Jackson.
I mean, I'm not the right guy to speak on this, obviously, but you know, but I would think that you know, growing up the way you grew up with, you know, with your dad, you know, it was, you know, like you said, almost like, I'll do this. Like, I don't need your help. Like, I will figure this shit out.
Yeah, my dad worked like since he was like 14 in construction and owned his own company, grew up generations in construction. And I remember him telling me once, you know, if you have a strong back, you got to use that. And like he, you know, fought World War II. Like he was always just manual labor, and he was just like work. When shit gets bad, you work harder. You know,
right.
When your back goes out, you work even harder. You know, there's no other option. You are going to get yourself out of whatever it is by working hard. And so that's the mentality that I'm like, that is how I'm wired. So yeah, I mean, that, I don't know if it's cultural, but I think it really comes down to family. I think, you know, I learned a lot of the stuff from my parents. My parents, you know, busted their asses in their own right. But they came from two different backgrounds. My mom, born and raised in Hawaii, Asian, very independent. And then my dad, I guess independent, but came from Chicago, born and raised, and was always into manual labor, always working since he was like a child. So I think that was more of the household. That's how we were raised.
I want to just take a quick pause and address a couple of things in the chat room. First, Jen, my sister, I don't think I'm an empath. I'm more intuitive. Jen, I was saying that you're very empathetic when I said that an empath, in that you actually care about other people and that. But yes, she studied Reiki. DJ Jam, I'm saying
Jamal
this wrong. Jamal. Hey, sorry. I'm the eldest. Justin beats me by. I beat Justin by a month and 3 days. And then Neil's a couple years behind us. Claudia in the chat room is saying it is cultural. You know, I have friends. It's hard to live in Southern California and not have friends with the Hispanic community, and I'm not attempting to speak on their behalf. But, you know, there is something to be said for that. Again, the work ethic, the machismo of it, you know, and myself, you know, both of my parents coming from the Middle East, there are no shrinks there, homie. You know, they're like, you know, that, and so that's, you know, going out and getting help is a generational, it is a cultural thing. You come to America and you realize that there are resources here available to you. And it's also taking those steps and finding help. Jaychan Bita is saying, Mom was pretty blunt about her advice to me, especially about self-reliance. One of the harshest was, quote, "You're going to die and be in a box by yourself. You might as well learn to live that way also," end quote. Because of that, it's uncomfortable for me to ask for help, especially if I think I can just do it all myself. And I think that goes down to the root of what we're talking about. We acknowledge the fact that we need help, and yet we find ways to not go and get it, whether it's through our own head games where it's like, I have to do this myself. And I'm the king of that shit. Like, like martyrdom for the sake of work. It's just dumb, but I do it. I just need to do it less. Get Right saying, Neil, I told you this before, but having the work harder mentality is why we are still here today as DJs, because we're willing to put in more and more work and willing to wear more and more hats over the years. I might respectfully challenge that as well, my friend.
Jesus.
No, hear me out.
We got beef. We got beef on Twitch today.
It's the exact same thing in radio. And here's the thing, right? So you do more, and there's a flaw to this equation, is because you do more and you give more, but your compensation stays the same. You're willing to do more and accept less for the privilege of doing it. And as a radio jock, there was a time when I started my radio career, you know what you did? You were on the air. You did your 4 hours. You did your 4-hour show. You did what you needed to do around the station, and that was your job. And then contraction happened with the industry. And then all of a sudden, you're doing the midday show, but you're also the promotion director. You're doing afternoons, and you're also the program director. You're doing nights, but you're also expected to be the webmaster. And then you're not only the promotion director, and then those jobs all get combined. So what I'm saying is, but your compensation stays exactly the same as when you started. I'm all for wearing multiple hats and getting your grind on, Get Right. What I'm saying is I'm just hoping that your compensation grows with that proportionately for the work that you're doing.
I think that, well, when it comes to radio and when it comes to what Joseph's talking about, we're talking about independent contractors. And when wearing the many hats, I think it's, you have to do the obvious ones, like, you have to be your own promotion director. You have to do this, that, and the other. But it also, you really have to be creative. Right. It is the work for us. It's the work hard and work smart type thing. And that will determine how much the compensation will be. You just have to do more. And I think that's what me and Joseph are talking about. As far as radio, that's a whole different animal.
Sure.
I can't even speak on that because, being in radio promotion, when I was a long time ago, yeah, that's a steady paycheck, steady salary.
Are you saying I'm old? I think you just said I'm old. Thanks, Dan.
Well, we are on the old guy in the club. I don't know if you're on the right podcast, but
right.
But if you made it onto this podcast, Zilla,
old.
But yeah, I think you have to be not only working hard, you also have to be working smart, and you've got to and the hustle is you got to be creative. I think that's what the many hats that Joseph Get Right is talking about is that.
Well, I'm just suggesting that at one time your entire thing was to, you were there to market yourself and promote yourself as an artist. And now it's grown to the point where not only do you have to do that and put on a great performance when you step in the door, but you also have to be equal parts VIP host, equal parts social media maven, equal parts like while you're there, you also have to entertain, the lead VIP host's girlfriend and her group of friends that are in the booth with you. Like that expansion, you're not getting paid any more for doing all of that, but your job role has expanded because the game has changed as such. Again, this is just the opinions of a lunatic like me. and it all just really stemmed right back from what I'm saying is that, sometimes we should be able to say no to the things that we don't want to do. Right.
Yep.
Like we take on all of these things. I think that was the root of all of this, is that we take on more and more in terms of burdens, but there's no benefit. I'm all for taking on more burdens if you can benefit from that burden. And I guess you're you and Joseph and everybody else that lives their life, you guys are the final arbiters of exactly where that value number lands.
Right.
But me in 2021, if I'm going to contribute my time and stuff, I want to get compensated for it.
So with that being said, this is your last show on Old Guy in the Club. Is that what you're saying?
No, this is. Are you guys kicking me off the show?
You're like, no, because you're like, I would like to get compensated. I'm like,
he's waiting for the third of my stimulus check.
Yeah,
I'm like, so are you saying that this is?
I'm waiting for an Arby's gift card to show up in the mail from Justin to say, enjoy your stimulus payment. Enjoy your fraction of my stimulus payment.
So, I want to bring a little levity to the show here. I'm gonna show you guys something.
Hi, Tim. Tim zonked out.
Passed out.
Yeah, he wasn't hungry. He was tired.
That's because I don't I don't feed him. He just sits there, and you got to get the kid some food.
Can you go on a podcast saying you don't feed your kids? Is that that's illegal in some states? I mean,
kids eat at like 5, 6 o'clock, but
it's 8 o'clock in Arizona. Also, I don't think they have any. They don't have any child protection laws in Arizona.
Wow, what's out there? They're still shooting their guns, yelling out "America!" Like 24 hours ago.
Listen, before we wrap this up, Justin, I just wanted to ask the folks in the chat room, because I know you want to. I know it's about that time. Are you guys in the chat room okay when we go a little deeper on these topics? Or ultimately, this is your show too. So, was this worth listening to, or was this just a little off the beaten path where you just don't want us to tread on this territory ever again? I'm kind of interested in that. I guess we'll get those responses.
Yeah. There's going to be a delay because some people are watching this on a mobile thing. But in my opinion, I think this was spot on for the time. It is, you could talk about serious stuff. You could talk about, nonsense, funny stuff, but we're talking about it's a new year. We're day one. This was the perfect timing for this topic.
All right. Jenna and Claudia are doing it. Claudia gives us permission to speak on it in the future as well. Thank you, Claudia. We appreciate that.
Justin,
awesome. Okay. Now that we know that, wait till next week. I'll have a good list next week. If you guys want to get deep.
Oh, we're going to be back to the list? No. I'm saying this episode was perfect timing topic because it's the new year. People are already in that mentality of thinking, okay, this is a new year. Not saying me. I didn't say that.
I was just trying to be as basic as the pumpkin spice latte. Wait, I was trying to be as basic as a pumpkin spice latte. That's what I was trying to say.
I haven't had a drink all year. I'm on my game.
So I think it was perfect for now. Now I think Justin, with your list, get a little fun.
All right.
Wait. I'm just curious. And actually, I think me and Jenna were talking about this. What is on your list right now?
You want to see what my list was tonight?
Yeah.
We've almost nailed everything. What did you do for New Year's? What did you do to start New Year today? Do you have resolutions? COVID fatigue. So we kind of all went in there. I had two other things that were on my list because maybe you guys talked about it last week. I don't know. I was going to discuss if anybody got any good Christmas presents. But you guys probably talked about that. And then the one serious thing I had on my list was I was going to bring up the vaccine and see how we all felt about it, and start that conversation. Which it's too late now. I can't do it.
I thought we talked about that in the Festivus.
Well, yeah, I think we covered the vaccine in the Festivus episode.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually out there now. People are getting it. So, did we have that conversation too?
Well, we know that medical workers were getting it at the time.
Correct.
Oh, all right. Well, I've been hearing a lot of people. What?
Do you listen to us?
No. Certainly not.
He listens to respond. He doesn't listen to understand. Honestly, I thought Justin was frozen. I thought Justin was frozen until he blinked.
I was trying to figure out what's happening right now.
Also, shout out to the one and only Sujit, scam artist in the chat room. What up, homie?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
The scam artist care package you sent me for Christmas came in 2 sizes too small. Oh wait, except I didn't get a care package for Christmas. Thanks, Suj.
Oh wait, there's a care package.
Wow.
I just did that just to be an asshole. Happy New Year, Sujit. Hope the next year is amazing for you, bro. I'm just a dick sometimes.
Oh God.
I'm still waiting for my white label care package too, for that matter. So
I don't even look. The only shit I've ever sent out in my life, in any company I've ever, well, I shouldn't say that. In the last 5 years, I've sent out one thing.
Yeah.
Mugs and pillows and candles. Okay, that's 3 things. I'm not very good at math.
In true Sujit fashion, you got to love him. The guy's fast. He's like, yeah, you didn't make the list this year, Rob. Something to work on for next year. You gotta respect that.
You know what? There's some positive to that. He's setting goals for you for the year.
So my objective. So when we're going back to our resolutions for 2021 is to get back on Sujit's good list.
Yeah,
that's what I'm searching for.
I think 2020 was the first year I didn't get denied a +1 for Sujit's dinner.
Look at E-Rock is saying I'm on his list though, and his list is way cooler. So there we go. At least I know I exist on some list somewhere. That's amazing.
I think today's topic was, the conversation was much needed, especially it was perfect timing.
I would agree. It's if you need help, get help. Take care of yourselves. It's been a rough year for everybody, and hopefully this year will be better for all of us. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
Imagine it's worse.
I really don't want to do that, though. I really don't. I don't want to imagine it getting worse. But there is always like the next 20 some days are really going to paint the picture as to, what the next couple of years are going to be like. So
wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. The next what?
I think the next 20 days are really going to set the tone as to what the next, 20 months are going to be like in this country and in the world.
20 days, really?
Well, because there's supposed to be an inauguration in 20 days, and if I believe that the status quo isn't doing the job, and I'm aspirationally hoping that if there is a change in leadership, that hopefully there might be a change in tactics to address the situation that we're all currently in. But you know what? I'm not a politician, so I'm just a monkey with a microphone.
When I'm going to sound really dumb. When is Inauguration Day?
The first was it the second Tuesday in January, the 20th, January 20th, I believe.
Okay.
I'm almost positive. What do I know? So we got, we're, it should.
It's going to be an interesting month.
Well, I want to end this year I want to try and end this show and set the tone with positivity. And, even though we sit here and it's the 21st, thanks for correcting me, John. We have a lot to, there's a lot to be done. And let's face it. This time last year, we're finding the world in a much more challenging situation than we did at this time last year. This time last year, we had nothing but like, yo, you know, it really was 2020 vision, yo. We were all in that mindset that it was just onward and upward, and we got to do some damage control. And I think that part of that is internally with ourselves. I don't think that anybody is walking away from this experience unscathed. And then the next layer out is our immediate families and our community, and looking out after one another from there, and then rebuilding again, because I just believe in us, and I believe in the future, and I believe that, you know, I want to be around for a long time and see just how great this place really can be, for all the right reasons. So there.
I think we're gonna end on that. We're not doing a grinds my gears tonight.
No, not on New Year's Day, homie.
Yeah,
no.
But next week, definitely.
Oh yeah.
What could possibly happen in a week that will grind your gears?
I don't know, man. I have a couple golf games lined up.
Jesus, dude.
Bad shit happens on the golf course. It gets me upset.
Send him a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. He's going to bitch about that.
Oh my God, dude. Really?
All right. Well, everybody that, who are we going to raid? We got to raid somebody, right? Hold on.
Who's on?
I don't know. Let me pull it up here.
While you're pulling it up, hey, everybody, thanks again for tuning into this episode of the Old Guy in the Club podcast. You will find us each and every Friday, 5 o'clock Pacific, live on twitch.tv/White Label Agency. Replays wherever you find your podcasts each and every Monday. If you get the opportunity, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell some enemies. It's New Year's Day. You don't have any enemies, so tell your friends where you can find us. Don't forget to follow Neil Jackson and buy his coffee, brlcoffeeco.com. The old guy here is Justin Zotz. You can follow him. His social media handles are White Label Agency and or The White Label Agency, depending on which platform you're on. My name is Rob Zilla. You'll find me at Robert Zilla SD. And thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week here at the Old Guy in the Club podcast. Have a great week and happy 2021.
I interviewed
who's better than you, Zilla?
Nobody. That's why I make the big bucks.
That's true.
I interviewed a guy named Amani Experience. We should rate him.
Can you text
Amani
me or type in the
Amani? Jenna just posted it and highlighted it.
What?
AM.
Hold on, man. Why do you do this to me every week? You guys are killing me. All right, I'm gonna start this raid right now. I don't know who this person is.
Dude, I had this thing so wrapped up, it was ready to just hit the button.
Yeah, and then
I understand, but when you do this, you get me to raid people after you do it.
E-Rock, to answer your question, has Justin ever dressed up as Santa Claus? Why do you think he didn't make the show last week? He was too tired from the runs at the North Pole.
I hate all you guys. All of you. All right, guys. Well, we're going to end this now. We're rating Amani Experience. Thank you for coming in. We will see you next week. Love you guys.